fine, yeah, right. You take the front. From me? Come here.
Give your hand over here and move this. If we can get it over here. We just take what again over here.
Sana.
Having enough extension, you have enough extension.
In the tower.
Alright, no problem.
Dia make sure dia terpekalkan aku tu.
Hi, good morning everyone. Driver PCP 6075. Please check on your video. Driver PCP 6075. Please check on your video.
Motoring, and it used to be a
Yes. We have that. Ma fai no? Maybe I will speak to when my brother you just put it in Got it. I will provide that to you now. I will just put on the certificate. You will run up. Yes. That's for sure. So we are not step you. That was two. We didn't put our anyway. Yeah, that's okay. We had discussed that today, but you end up getting photo for local, and we didn't even have anybody name. Name, maybe about 3 names in the maximum. And it's shortly, yeah, I'm just talking about one. Okay, so here's the people here. The principal is over here.
Somebody got to sit up with you. That's all. Come, You got a program to check. That is the back.
Channel mana lah, putar ni kamera.
Minutes to 9.
Just give me a cue when it's 10 o'clock. I do have my watch.
Namaste to one and all. This morning we all gathered here to join with this family to give them the strength and to help them in whatever way that we can to assist them in this very sad time in their lives. It is not an easy task for parents to see their child like this. Today we are here to Antishti Sanskar, the 16 Sanskars of Davindra Jairamsingh, the son of the late Ramjit Jairamsingh and mother Shama, who is here with us. He was 54 years old 6 days ago. And out of that 54 years, 34 years he spent as a teacher. And his colleagues in that fraternity is here who would have known him for most of that 34 years. I'm sure he would have taught many a children good lessons. Some of those children today would be adults. And one lesson that he would have taught from time to time when he said, mind a goat, mind a sheep, but don't mind people's business. End of quote. And from my knowledge and experience with him, he was about minding his own business. Good example of what he taught. As we ask the Divine Supreme Being, Paramatman, God, our Creator, the one who sustains us, and the one at the end of our journey on this earth, our Atman, we hope that it can reunite with that Divine Supreme Being. Let's join in prayer. Om Shanno Mitraha Shana Varuna Shanno Bhavat Varyama Shanna Indro Brihaspati Shanno Vishnu Rurukrama Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Varesyami Ritam Varesyami Satyam Varesyami Tanmam Avatu Tarvaktar Avatu avatu vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May you, O Supreme Being, friend of all, the holiest of all and controller of the universe, be merciful unto us. May you, Almighty One, God of the universe and support of all, endow us with knowledge and power. May you, O omnipresent, omnipotent Being, shower your blessings all around us. We bow unto most powerful and supreme Being. You alone are the omniscient one whom we feel within our hearts. We will call you and you alone the true one. Your will is truly revealed in the Vedas will be obeyed and preached. We will be fruitful in thoughts, words, and deeds. You are our shelter. May you protect us who study and contemplate your divine nature, who speak only the truth, so that our understanding may be firm in your will and never turn away from it. Your will is truth and righteousness. That which is contrary to your will is untruth and unrighteousness. May you again shelter and protect us. O God, be merciful and grant us our prayer, for which we shall feel ever and ever grateful. Let there be peace in the upper regions, in the middle regions, and on earth. Today, we human beings are living in the blinding darkness of ignorance. We come to you, O God, so that the light of your knowledge will shine upon all of us, and we will be able to select the true path as we walk this journey of our life. We are all roaming in darkness. We pray to you, O God, show us the path by shedding your reassuring light where we walk, and blessing our eyes with the ability to see and to select. We are your children. We pray to you and ask you to show us the path to happiness and to prosperity, material and spiritual prosperity. Invite those of you who know the bhajan, feel free to sing along. आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। भक्त करे हम राह दिखा दे, भगवन राह दिखा दे। भक्त करे हम राह दिखा दे, भगवन राह दिखा दे। कदम कदम पर किरण बिछा दे, भगवन किरण बिछा दे। इन अखियन को प्रभु करा दे, इन अखियन को प्रभु करा दे। ज्योति से पहचान, ज्योति से पहचान। आज मेरे में हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। हम तो है संसार तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी, हम तो है संसार तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी। तेरी दया के हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी। दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी, दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी। ऐसा दे वरदान, ऐसा दे वरदान। आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। As we join in prayer and devotion, and as we chant these big prayers, within your heart, extend that love, that compassion to all the members of the Holy Family as we chant these mantras, so that the energy from these mantras that you give out in this environment will reach those to whom our thoughts are projected to. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yadvadram Tana Asuva. Om Hiranya Garbha Samavartatadri Utasya Jata Patireka Ase Sadadhar Prithvibhya Utema Tasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. Om Yatmada Baladayasya Vishwa Upasate Prashisham Yasya Deva Yasya Chayamritam Yasya Mrityu Tasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. Om Yah Pranato Nimishato Mahitvai Indraja Jagato Bahuva Yaishe Yasya Dvipadashchatushpada Tasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. Om Yena Jaguna Prithvicha Dridha Yena Swastabhitam Yena Naga Yantarikshe Rajaso Vimana Tasmai Devaya Havisha Vidhema. Om Prajapati Natvadetannyo Vishwajatani Parita Babhuva Yakamaste Juhumastano Vastu Vayam Syama Pathayorayena. Om Sanu Bandhur Janita Savidhata Dhamani Veda Bhuvanani Vishwa यत्र देवा अमृतमानशानस्य धृतये धामनधैर्ययन्ता ॐ अग्निनय सुपथराय अस्मान् विश्वानि देव वयुनानि विद्वान् यो यो ध्यस्मज जोरान् मेनो भूयिष्ठान्ति नाम उक्तिं विधेमा. O self-effulgent being, all holy and of all things, lead us to the path of goodness, to prosperity and knowledge, and keep us away from evil deeds. To achieve this end, may we always contemplate your divine nature and be always happy. At this time, I would like to invite Sri Rajesh Jagmohan to bring his condolences and sympathies on behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha School Board of Management. Sri Rajesh.
Thank you very much. Reverend Pandit, members of the bereaved family, ladies and gentlemen, children, on behalf of the Arya Pratinidhi Sabha, the executive, members, friends and well-wishers, we would like to express our deepest sympathy to the family of Mr. Jairam Singh. Our organization is well aware of his sterling contribution to his school, the Sabha, and more so, the children of Avkat Vedic School. Being a person very humble by nature, approachable, and willing to shoulder responsibilities, we are quite aware that he was a pivotal role in recognizing many of the projects, goals, extracurricular and co-curricular activities of his school, and by extension, the parent organization. When we speak of the successes that we enjoy, it was a person of the caliber of Mr. Jairam Singh who worked tirelessly and selflessly to realize excellence in our delivery of service to our beloved institution. He will forever be missed and remembered for all that he has given to us. To his mom, Auntie, you may never know the extent of his hard work to our school. Thank you for giving us your son, for we have enjoyed the best of his efforts. I remember one sports day he said, Raj, organize the flagpole and so on. And on the sports day itself, after the anthem and so on, he said the anthem was good, the flag hoisting was good. The only problem, Raj, the flag upside down. He said, come quick, let me help you fix up this thing. And so was his nature. He was always part of the solution and never part of the problem. So, thank you, Dave, for everything that you have given to us. On behalf of the staff that you have worked with, you have made an indelible impression on our lives and etched some good memories in our hearts. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Dave, wherever your soul's journey may take you, please shine a light upon us. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Sri Rajesh ji. I would now like to ask the school supervisor for the school, Mr. Ian Ramlal, to come and extend his condolences and sympathies on behalf of the Ministry of Education.
Good morning, everyone. It is really with deep sadness that I am here today to offer condolences on behalf of the Ministry of Education. We wish to offer condolences to Dave's family, his friends, his colleagues, and his students. I would have met Dave a few years back when he came to the Firesburg Presbyterian School to do teaching practice. And I remember Dave, I think Clint was there, Andy, and I was a young teacher then, I had just started, and I was really impressed with, his work ethics. He would come to school every day with all his resources in order. He would have this thick file with all his lesson notes, and he was well organized. And from that time until now, Dave and I would have connected. We would have met at several sports days, cricket matches where he would accompany the school team. At social events we would meet regularly, and we would always discuss, about school-related activities. And he was one who was always willing to share, willing to assist. And he did it with a smile. Subsequent to that, I would have interacted with Dave in the classroom, and that was his playground. If someone asked me to describe Dave, I would use 3 words. I would say he was hardworking, dedicated, and committed. And with me, I have evidence to prove that. If you take a look at Dave's leave record, you will notice that he's not absent from school at all. He would regularly be at school, he would be in class with his students, and that showed the sort of dedication that he had. With regards to his students, Dave would give 110%, and it would have shown in 2016, I think it was, where he had a student place second nationally in the SAA exam. And for those of you who know, that is no easy feat. It doesn't come that easily. It takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of commitment. And Dave was one who would have, worked that hard. He would have completed all the different subjects. And, he was that kind of person. He would always go the extra mile, Dave would be in school early and he would leave late. That's the kind of person he was. And, he would sorely be missed, all right? To the principal and the staff of the Avocat Village School, Dave is a true loss. He's a true loss, not only to you all, but to all, who are involved in education. He led by example, and, he would sorely be missed. So once again, on behalf of the Ministry of Education, I want to offer our deepest condolences to his family, his friends, his colleagues, and most of all his students. I believe that, we all are here for a purpose, and Dave served his purpose, and he served his purpose well. And we should all be proud of what he has done, all right? And for those of his colleagues who are here, we all should look at him as an example. We don't have persons like him in the service anymore. It's rare you find a teacher like that. And to lose someone like that, is a great loss. So once again, condolences, and may his soul rest in peace. Namaste.
Everything is fleeting and perishable. What was yesterday is no longer today. What was today will no longer be now. Therefore, unendingly, the wheel of the world keeps revolving. The world is like a plant. It is one time blossoming and bearing fruit, and at the other, it withers, only to be born anew. कल रहा सो आज ना, और आज है सो अब नहीं। चक्र यह संसार का घूमत सदा इसी बात ही। कल रहा सो आज ना, और आज है सो अब नहीं। और है ना छोर है जीवन लता अद्भुत सदा। फूलती फलती तथा मुरझात फिर नूतन भये। कल रहा सो आज ना, और आज है सो अब नहीं। नार नर साथी यहाँ सुख दुख अपनी भाग से। लोक भी में त्या नहीं, जीवन कला है सीखनी। कल रहा सो आज ना, और आज है सो अब नहीं। धर्म को पहचान लो, और कर्म योगी होय लो। ईश को नित नेह लो, और दूसरी है नहीं। कल रहा सो आज ना, और आज है सो अब नहीं। चक्र यह संसार का घूमत सदा इसी बात ही। कल रहा सो आज ना, और आज है सो अब नहीं. Popular American author Mark Twain said, and he wrote, "I do not fear death. I have been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born, and had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it." My understanding of this quote is that he is aware that he is going to be reincarnated from body to body based on his own understanding of the Vedic philosophy. I'm going to read a few words that someone had said. I'll tell you who it is at the end of it. When they were in the hospital and they realized that the end was near. There is nothing in this world more real than death. The most expensive branded car in the world stands in my garage, but I am taken in a wheelchair. All kinds of designs and colors in the world, expensive clothes, expensive shoes, and expensive products are all in my house. But I am in a small gown provided by the hospital. I have a lot of money in the bank account, but nothing is of use to me. My house is like a castle to me, but I am lying in a small bed in the hospital. I kept traveling to 5-star hotels in this world, but now I am being transferred from one lab to another in the hospital. Once, 7 hairstylists did my hair daily, but today I have almost no hair on my head. I have been dining at many types of high 5-star hotels around the world, but today 2 pills a day and a drop of salt at night is my diet. I was flying around the world in different planes, but today Two people helped me to get to the hospital porch. No amenities helped me. Not comforting in any way. But the faces of some loved ones around, their prayers and their worship kept me alive. This life, no matter what you own at the end, you go empty-handed. Be kind and help anyone you can. Avoid valuing people for their wealth and power. Love good human beings. Treasure the ones who are there for you. Don't hurt anyone. Be good. Do good. Because only that will go with you. Those are the words of the late great Lata Mangeshkar when she was in the hospital. Kindness makes you the most beautiful person in the world, no matter what you look like. You are responsible for yourself. No one else may answer for your deeds when the final reckoning comes. Your work in the world, in the sphere of your karma, your own past activities has placed you where your work can be performed only by one person, yourself. And your work can only be called a success only when, in some way, it serves your fellow human being or God's creation. And I underscore the word serve. As we all looked on, probably 2 weeks ago, the world looked on at the funeral service of the late Queen Elizabeth II. And there's something that's very interesting that struck me when, at the end of the service, the Archbishop, in his final words, said, "Now, let us remove all symbols of power from the coffin, so that our sister Elizabeth can be committed to the grave as a simple Christian." Very powerful statement when we come to understand the actions that took place next. All the crown and the scepter and the jewels and everything was removed from on top of the coffin. The Queen was buried with nothing. And you would recall that the Archbishop did not refer to her as the Queen, but Sister Elizabeth. Life is indeed vanity. It is transient, changing, and it teaches us humility. Humility in power, humility in relating with others, humility in our acquisition of wealth, and humility in all our endeavors. Because in the end, we will go back with nothing. I thank you for listening to me for this short few words. I hope that it will bring to you some kind of understanding of your own purpose, of why you are here on the face of this earth. The light of God will allow you to create and experience bliss. Jyoti Bindu Paramatma se ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर वे मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। परमानंद का ओ परमानंद का अनुभव कर तू धन्य बना जीवन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन प्रभु के प्राप्त का मूल मंत्र है समपूर्ण समर्पण ओ आत्मा चल प्रभु के साब दे तू सारा जीवन ओ देख प्रभु तेरी निकट विराजे ओ देख प्रभु तेरी निकट विराजे करने अभिवादन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन ज्योति बिंदु के प्रेम सिंधु में कलाज नाली परम पिता का कौन प्राप्त बनकर तो शुभ बरताली वो किरण किरण को निरख नयन से ओ किरण किरण को निरख नयन से हो जा मन में मगन ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से ऐ मेरी आत्मा अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन अब चल कर ले मिलन. At this time, I would like to invite Sri Yandish Parasram Singh Ji to bring his condolences to this family. Sri Yandish Ji.
Namaste, everyone. This is kind of unexpected. Dave was my cousin, but was a friend. He was the guy who introduced me to this place that we live called LA, Loa Avocat. So every time I talk to him, he say, well, we live in Loa Avocat. He was always somebody who would see the lightest side of things. He was a very witty individual. His smart comment will come instantaneously. So those of you who know him would know that part of him as well. I was here for the past couple of nights, and I was saying that he was able to successfully compartmentalize his life. So you had his professional life at work, family separate, friends as well. At times there would be some intersection, and so if you go to Lime and you see the school friends here, he would go and make sure he had a conversation back and forth and things like that. But he was able to do that, like I said, successfully because he was a private person. People who know him as well would know that this kind of attention is probably the first time he getting this, you know, and he would, if he could get up and walk, he'll do that and go to the back. He did that already here at a function, you know. When you're looking for Dave, you can't find him at all. So he liked a good line. I mean, I could just talk from the time that I spent on my memories. And each one of us here will have different memories. Like I was saying again, yesterday I said, everybody here could probably say about 100 stories about the time that they had with Dave. And it would all be different, you know. But again, I have had mine, you know, with him. When I call him and say, well, I'll come to pick you up. And where we going? He said, well, me afraid that, 15 minits, I'll be in and we'll be gone. So that was the guy, the guy who like I say, a good cook, and he had a good, when you have a good chef to go with the cook. So I'm not seeing Fall here, but Fall was his 5-star chef of choice. And Fall was also his confidant and driver during the many escapades that he would have over the years. So some people know Sir, and he is always very humble, quiet, unassuming. Never heard him say a bad word. We were trying to figure out if we ever saw him angry, because he was that kind of person. He was, he had friends, and again, friends like, Vay and Sanjay and Dave. Well, that's his second Dave. Dave also known as Wanzi. He is also always referred to Wanzi as the prettier of the two sisters. Yeah, but Dave was, I don't know, just like, for me, he's still here, and I will always, see, think of him like that. And again, I keep remembering different things. I used to always tell him, when I die, I will leave some money for the boys and them to drink. He said, well, why would you wait till dead? Give me now, Yeah, so, I don't know, I'm just thinking about all the different times that we would have had. I know time is of the essence. But the Sir that I know, again, I'm not sure people know him since Ivy days, playing sport. We played cricket together. He was a wicket keeper. And again, different days. There's so many different things that happened over the years. His time at John Dee, the different schools, the schools that he would have taught at. And then again in the latter half year, us just taking life easy and doing things that we enjoyed. So to Sir, teach, Dave, El Professor, as some people would also refer to him. Partner, sorry to see you go. In my mind, like, you'll live on. I'll really miss you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Hari Yandesh, Pastor Ramsingh. Those who would have known him for many of his waking hours, and spent many months and years in his company, I now like to ask the principal of the Avocat Vedic School, Nirmala Miru, and the vice principal, Bichan, to come and extend their condolences and sympathies to the family.
Namaste everyone. Vin, that's the name that's common by Chelsea. Closest thing he had to a daughter, as I know, because he treated her extra special. We treated her extra special because for the past 27 years, I came in 1995, I met Vin there, and he has taught me so much. We worked together for many years. Many a times, Vin would take the brunt of the attack, and there were times when he would have 34 and 35 in his class, and he never complained. He never ever complained. Vin, I thank you for the opportunity. It's not very often we get to live half of our life with someone like you. He was 54 last Wednesday, which means that I would have spent 27 years with him. Those were good times. I will give you the school part from Yanni, although I understand some of the other aspects there. And if there's one trait and characteristic that came out of Vin, was generosity. Very often you will hear students talk about Mr. Jairamsingh treated them. He would buy them lunch when they had no lunch. When the school meal was late, he would take money off his own pocket and would buy lunch. He would buy booklets for them, costing hundreds of dollars out of his own pocket. Money was not an issue with him. He never complained. He always worked hard. He was dedicated. Ma will miss him a lot. Quite a lot of the work, the infrastructural work was done here. No disrespect, Jai, was headlined by Dave, and Ma was so proud. Up to Wednesday we were here, Miss and I, and Ma was giving us a general tour. She said, when Dave retires, he has nothing to worry about. Everything is here for him. He puts down the hammock in the morning, he rocks, and he will be okay. At school, my friend was very dedicated. Like Mr. Jairam Singh said, he was very laid back and witty. He would sit back and he would listen, and then all of a sudden he would say something that makes everybody just sit back and take notice, and most often crack up. His dedication to his students is second to none. Like she said, he recently, I would say recent, that's just a few years ago, placed a child second in the SEA examination. And that's no easy feat because of 18,000 children, that child placed second. And it was all up to Vin because the child was in his class in standard 4 and 5. At school, someone put up a post and they said he was there to prop the school up, to make sure the infrastructure was kept up. We did that. Myself, him, Mr. Jairam Singh, along with principal. Vin would ensure that all the electrical was properly done. Anyone has a problem with electrical, Vin would be there to help. With plumbing, with whatever was there. And like Ms. Maduri rightly put it a couple days ago, Vin was the background man. He kept in the background. And like Yanni just said, when they had the function there, he kept at the back. When we had graduation or any big function, Vin will normally be at the back. He was never one to be at the front. He was never one to grab the limelight. But he was there. Many a sports day, we will be there under the watchful eye of Mr. Jairam Singh, and Vin will do most of the work. Remember one year we were playing the boys national cricket against Arima government. Vin got a loan, the grass was high and rain was falling, so we could not play. So Vin tell them don't go because they came quite from Arima. And 3 days Vin went down trying to cut the lawn on foot and came back to work when the rain started to fall. Came back to work, didn't come home, change his clothes or anything like that. Came back to work because he had an SEA class. That shows the dedication of the guy. Vin, of the many bazaars, of the many fundraisers, of the many graduations, you were always there. And like Yanni said, you will always be there in our mind. Ma, we know you will miss him most of all. And all the rest of the siblings, Jai, Leanne, Diane, nephews and nieces, his daughter Chels. But we know he was very close to you. It was you and him through many wars. And Vin, you know we love you. And we were a little disappointed in you that you shared so much with us and you did not share that you weren't feeling too well. I'm very disappointed in you for that. Because maybe in our own little way, we could have made a difference. I think we could have made a difference. But you unselfishly kept it to yourself. 2 Fridays ago on the 23rd was the very first time I ever heard in 27 years you say that you weren't feeling well. And that's the last we saw of you at school. We are sorry to see you go. Very sorry. We will miss you a lot. And may God keep you safely. Always.
Namaste, everybody. Pundit, other principals who are present, school supervisor, Mr. Ramad, teachers, family, community. What else can I add to what all the other speakers would have said? Dave was truly like the gel in our school. Always there, but never there. Always there doing the work behind the scenes, even after hours, before functions, early in the morning, when we are at home. He is there together with Mr. Beecham, organizing the ice, organizing the drinks, organizing the fixing of the furniture. And as Mr. Beecham rightly said, when he came back, behind, not in front. And that is the type of person he was. He did things from his heart, not for recognition, not for praise, not for monetary value. He did it because that was one of his characteristics. He was selfless. He served with distinction. always punctual, always regular, never taking bank time, working every year for SCA as an exam supervisor when his class was not writing the exam. And he never even took the compensatory date. He said, Miss Wale, we owe you so much, Dave. We owe you so much for all that you would have done. And the value that you would have added to our school, to our students, and to the community. Different persons have different memories of him. For me, it goes back way to when his father would have brought him by our house for haircut, because his parents and my parents are friends. Mind you, I was no hairdresser, but he sat quietly and allowed me to cut his hair. And even after that, we would have met in the earlier years at Abakat Vedic with me as an ATP. And I would remember those, if you ask Madhuri, she would always relive the experiences of those earlier days at Abakat Vedic School, where a bunch of young teachers started. Raj, Madhuri, Reshma, myself, Diane, and the gang. We had our interests in excursions and outings and club days then. And even further down the road when I came back to Abakat Vedic School, even though Dave had so much years of service ahead of me, and I came in a position as HOD, he never disrespected. He welcomed me, and he never allowed friendship to get in between our professionalism. For many people, he would be remembered for so many things. In our staff, I know, for those girls, Nira, Nadine, and the rest who would be there at recess time, we would always walk down to share a joke. It wouldn't be the same. As Miss Carolyn would say, when we come on up the road, we have seen his car parked, his van parked outside. You know, and when they were coming to school, on Monday, they were looking out for that van. Well, Priya, you probably get that van, okay, so we'll still see it, you know. And even for Miss Priya, who would come to school with him every day, I can imagine how difficult that would be. Children were the closest thing to him. We saw it with his nephews and his nieces. And it didn't stop there. Even, we speak of 2016, I was fortunate to be a parent of his class then, where he got the second place. Not only that, but 5 children from his class would have came in the top 100 position. That added a lot of fame and, you know, positive imagery to our school. And this is the kind of value that he added. So, I want to thank you today. Luckily, I don't know, you know, we just reminiscing. Luckily, the last day of school, when we met together as a staff, we went down memory lane and there were so many good things that were shared about Dave in his presence. And even the first meeting we had for this term, because he was known for standard 4 and 5, and only this term he, you know, since last year he said, Mr. Retiring at 55, you're not going. And we said, well, okay, you know, we need to give somebody else a chance. So he moved to standard 3 level. And we relived how much years he would have served, and the staff clapped for him, and, you know, we shared some memories and stuff like that. And even that, I see the significance of it now, with him being present and hearing all those wonderful things about him. So not only we are speaking about him here as he is lying, but he is aware and he knows of the value that he would have added to our school. We will never forget him. His memories will live on to Ma, Diane, Leanne, his brother, and everybody else. We are here for you. Don't be a stranger. Yandesh, you spoke so fondly of Dave. Remember you, Dave was a link to you painting our school walls. So you are not off the hook. We'll remember you for that. And all the others who would have so much nice memories. Fun memories, liming memories, school memories. He was as real as it got. Enjoyed life and never looked for anything in return. So on behalf of all members of staff, we thank him. We wish him all the best in his new journey ahead, and his memories would live with us forever. I will now ask members of the school to please come as we sing one of his most favorite bhajans. Whenever they've had assembly, he would choose the hardest bhajan to sing. But this was his favorite. If there are any others, I know Miss Indira principal is here. All the other principals of the village schools would have sent condolences. Other principals of the zone, I thank you all for your support.
निरबल के प्राण पुकार रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे श्वासों के स्वर जनकार रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे निरबल के प्राण आकाश हिमालय सागर में पृथ्वी पाताल चराचर में आकाश हिमालय सागर में पृथ्वी पाताल चराचर में यहाँ मधुर बोल गुण झाड़ रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे निरबल के प्राण जब दया दृष्टि हो जाती है सुखी खेती लहराती है जब दया दृष्टि हो जाती है सुखी खेती लहराती है इस आश से जन उचार रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे निरबल के प्राण सुख दुखों की चिंता है ही नहीं भय है विश्वास ना जाए कहीं सुख दुखों की चिंता है ही नहीं भय है विश्वास ना जाए कहीं झूठे न लगाया हथार रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे निरबल के प्राण तुम हो करुणा के धाम सदा सेवक है राधे श्याम सदा तुम हो करुणा के धाम सदा सेवक है राधे श्याम सदा बस इतना सदा विचार रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे निरबल के प्राण पुकार रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे श्वासों के स्वर जनकार रहे जगदीश्वरे जगदीश्वरे निरबल के प्राण
Thank you much, principal, staff of the Catholic School. Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivaradhanam urvarukamiva bandhana mrityurmokshayamamrita. Om Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivaradhanam urvarukamiva bandhana mrityurmokshayamamrita. Om Trayambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushtivaradhanam urvarukamiva bandhana mrityurmokshayamamrita. I would just like to say one thing before we begin the final part of this service here. On Sunday morning when I heard the news that Dave had passed away, I was very much surprised. And my son was at home, he was preparing to leave to go back up to North. And I told him that, you know who passed away, son? So, your communities teacher, Dave. He said, but Dad, he's so young. So I told him, age has nothing to do with death. When time comes, it goes. And he has told me to, if I visit the family, to extend his condolences and sympathies to all the members of his family, on behalf of my family, to all of you. At this time, I will now give those the opportunity to come and place a flower on the human day that is in front of us here, because the being has left the body. We just have the human here. As we give our last respect, we just have the flowers. I would like to give some guidance as we do it in an orderly manner. We all come on this way in a clockwise direction and come back in the next way, so that we wouldn't be coming into each other's way all the way around. So we come this way, and we go around and come back and take your seat. And while you are doing that, I will be chanting a few mantras, so I invite you to begin at this point in time. I invite Shama to come first to pay her respects. And all the members of the family can come immediately after her. Namaste Satete Jagat Karanaya Namaste Chite Sarvalokashayaya Namo Dvaita Tadvaya Mukti Pradaya Namo Brahmane Vyapine Shashvataya Tvamekam Sharanyam Tvamekam Varenyam Tvamekam Jagatpalakam Swaprakasham Tvamekam Jagatka Tripatri Prahartre त्वमेकं परमनिश्चलं निर्विकल्पम् भयानां भयमभीषणमभीषणानां गतिः प्राणिनं पावनं पावनानां महोचैपदानां नियन्त्री त्वमेकं परेषां परमरक्षणं रक्षणानाम् वयं त्वां स्मरामो वयं त्वां भजामो वयं त्वां जगत्साक्षिरूपं नमामः सदेकं निधानं निरालं भवेषां भवां भूतिपूतं शरण्यं व्रजामः यस्य कश्चित् पतिरस्ति लोके न चेश्चितानैव च तस्य लिङ्गम् सकारणं करणाधिपाधिपो न चस्य कश्चित् जनिता न चाधिपा तमेश्वराणां परममहेश्वरं तं देवतानां परमं हि देवतं पतिं पतीनां परमां परस्तां विधामदेवां भुवनेशमेध्याम् त्वमेकं शरण्यं त्वमेकं वरेण्यं त्वमेकं जगत्पालकं स्वप्रकाशम् त्वमेकं जगत्कर्तृपत्रि प्रहर्त्री त्वमेकं परमनिश्चलं निर्विकल्पम् भयानां भयमभीषणमभीषणानां गतिप्राणिनं पावनं पावनानां महोचैपदानां नियन्त्रे त्वमेकं परेषां परमरक्षणं रक्षणानाम् वयं त्वां स्मरामो वयं त्वां भजामो वयं त्वां जगत्साक्षिरूपं नमामः सदेकं निधानां निरालाभवीषां भवाम्भोधिपूतं शरण्यं व्रजामः तमेश्वराणां परमं महेश्वरं तं देवतानां परमं हि देवतं पतिं पतीनां परमं परस्तात् विनामदेवां भुवनेशमेध्याम् Is there anyone who would like to view at this time? If not, then we will make the final arrangement to take Dave from his home to the shore of peace for final internet. Those who would assist, they will be taking Dave out from here. I invite you to come now at this time.
Ready?
Let's all stand. Who's the tech?
As we are about to take Dave from his home, please stand as we join in prayer. We all join together. Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Chasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravina Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Prabhu aaye Sharan Tumhari Prabhu aaye Sharan Tumhari Prabhu aaye Sharan Tumhari Prabhu aaye Sharan Tumhari aaye Sharan Tumhari Prabhu aaye Sharan Tumhari Prabhu
Better position. Better here. Johnson? Sorry.
Yeah. Those who would like to view at this point in time, we want to ask you to do so, and with immediate effect that we will begin to prepare the body at the same time so that we can get further to what we have to do.
Sorry again.
They're using data from the phone.
Like that?
Yeah. It's just something there.
Welcome anytime. Sorry. Yani going to huh? Sorry.
Mix everything. Om Agnaye Swaha. Om Somaya Swaha. Om Lokaya Swaha. Om Anumataye Swaha. Om Swargaya Lokaya Swaha. Om Surya Chakshurvachmata Nyamacha Gacha Gacha Dharmana Apova Gacha Gadi Tatrihi Tamoshadi Pratishtay Swaha. Om Ajo Bhagas Tapasa Tasvatam Te Sarvajitam Arshadi Yasto Shivastanva Jata Vedastavir Vahanai Sukritam Lukam Swaha. Om Avasteja Punar Bhakti Yasta Aha Dushta Charati Svadahi Ayurvasana Upavitu Sheshaha Sangachata Tanva Jata Veda Swaha. Om Agni Varma Parigo Viryavasya Sampushna Vivasa Mithasa Cha Nitva Vishnur Harsta Jahir Shano Dagdir Vidyakashana Prayankya Yate Swaha. Om Yam Tam Agni Samadahasa Tamu Nirvahaya Punaha Kriyam Bhavatra Rotaha Paka Durva Yavyakasha Swaha. Om Pranebhya Sada Patibhya Swaha. Om Pritibhyay Swaha. Om Agnaye Swaha.
Oh, sorry.
Om Antarikshaya Swaha. Om Vayave Swaha. Om Dive Swaha. Om Suryaya Swaha. Om Digbhya Swaha. Om Chandraya Swaha. Om Nakshatribhya Swaha. Om Adhyah Swaha. Om Varunaya Swaha. Om Nabhe Swaha. Om Putaya Swaha. Om Vache Swaha. Om Pranaya Swaha. Om Pranaya Swaha. Om Chakshushe Swaha. Om Chakshushe Swaha. Om Shrotraya Swaha. Om Shrotraya Swaha. Om Suryam Gacha Gacha Vata Mata Divam Cha Gacha Padavam Cha Dharmabhi Apova Gacha Yadi Tatra Dehitam Oshadeshu Pratishtha Sharirai Swaha. Om Soma Ekabhya Pavate Gritamika Upasade Yebhyo Madhu Pradhavati Tanshi Deva Gachapi Gachatat Swaha. Om Ye Chit Purve Rita Sata Rita Jata Rita Vritha Vishe Tapaspatato Yama Tapujam Abhigachatat Swaha. Om Tapasa Ye Anadri Shastra Tapasa Ye Swaryaya तापो हि चक्रिमहस्तांसि देव गजपि गच्छतात् स्वाहा ॐ ये युध्यन्ते प्रादुनेषु सुरासा ये तनुर्यज्ञः ये वः सहस्र दक्षिणा तांसि देव गजपि गच्छतात् स्वाहा ॐ सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा ॐ सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा ॐ सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा So let us write. All those who would be doing the final part.
Jai.
Five of you. Start writing all. You will get five.
Okay.
Just start it.
Yani. Yani. Kenny, if you want. Kenny, go on. Yani. Gary. Kenny.
Come this way. Come this way. Right hand. Right hand. Go ahead, come. Go ahead.
What color fast? Do you know?
Yeah.
They walk fast. Fast, huh?
Just stand right here. Thank you. Stand right here.
Yeah.